Someone once told me that ass was much fatter on the other side. On this week's episode of Cartoon Buffoons, I'm your host Wyatt, and who is here with me today, as always?
Hello, I'm Morgan. I'm the secret gay aunt from the PJs.
Yeah,
that's great.
Good with the PJs reference. And who is our guest for today's episode?
I am Tariq, terrific Tariq. I'm back again. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
no problem.
Back from the Mike Lonaga episode, which was, Jesus, almost a year ago at this
no
point.
Way.
We've been doing this for like a year now. Yeah, that was like episode 9, and we're on like episode 40 something now. So,
wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had you. We had just had Nick back for the SpongeBob episode, and he was on very early as well with Powerpuff Girls. So now we got you back, and we got you back to do another cartoon that a lot of people think are ugly, but they're fucking wrong about it.
That's true.
And we're talking about Ads Told by Ginger. Jesus Christ, is this the best cartoon that we have talked about? Or that we will talk about on... Not saying it's like my favorite, but just like, is it the best one that we're going to ever talk about?
I do want to hold off until we get to like specific stuff about it. But man, oh fucking man, there used to be a vibe to Nickelodeon shows, like a specific energy.
Yeah.
And this show was like the Superman of that energy. And I gotta own this. I have to get like DVDs now. I need to own this show.
Yeah.
Man, this show is so good. It's so good. I'm so sorry, Ed and Eddie, and all these other shows I love from the Cartoon Network, but Nickelodeon up one, brother. This shit is so fucking good.
I think, yeah. So Tariq, we wanted you on. Nick said like, "Oh, you did a video. You should."
Yeah, really good video.
Et cetera.
Thank you.
And yeah, so I figured that would be like a good guest to have on. It would be very easy because we were already had DM, so I didn't have to like shoot to some random person in the darkness.
Right.
So I want to ask you, like, what is your history with the show? What's your connection to it, and like, what does it mean to you? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I remember when it was airing. It would play on Teen Nick, so it kind of gave it like this like illusion of like oh, this is like the big kid show, you know what I mean? Like
it's elevated. It's elevated.
Right. So I remember feeling like that about it back then, and I would watch it like here and there a little bit. Like I would remember little bits and pieces, stuff that people always talk about, Little Seal Girl and stuff like that. It wasn't until I got to college and 2 a.m. I got a phone call from a couple friends. They might have been like drunk, and they called me and they were saying they were listing a bunch of Nicktoons, and they were trying to get me to they were asking me like, where do they like rank, like what tier do I put the cartoons in? Random phone call at 2 a.m. But I was entertaining them. It was like whatever. As Told by Ginger came up, and I think I might have said, I don't know, I might have said like C or something.
Okay.
And they were surprised, and they're like, really? Like, wow. And then my friend, he's from Connecticut, and he found out that the show takes place in Connecticut. And
yeah.
So long story less long, he came up with this concept of playing a game of NBA 2K, and if I lost, I had to do a video on As Told by Ginger and watch the whole cartoon. And if I won, I got to do Class of 3000, which actually happened like maybe 3 years later, but I definitely lost, and I had to do As Told by Ginger. Quick fun fact about that, actually, I showed footage of the video game in the video, but that footage that I'm showing is not the original game. We did the original game. I lost, not by much. It was probably like 10 or something. And then, but when I came to edit the video, I didn't have the footage anymore. I guess I didn't know that Twitch like deletes after 2 weeks or something like that. I didn't know that. So I was like, damn, well, what am I gonna do? I referenced the footage in the script, and then Ed was like, well, we could just redo the game. So we redid the game. But then I lost again by more, right? But then we didn't. I went to go edit again. Apparently, when you open a new Twitch account, there is a switch you have to press in order for it to actually like save. So we played the game again, and I lost by even more, and that's why the score looks like it does in the video. I swear that's not how I got whooped.
I can't take an ass beating 3 times for a video. I'm like, all right, you guys gotta believe me. I'm tired of this. I don't want to deal with this no more.
The homies were so mad at me. I think it was before. It was either during the second game or the third game, but they all left to go see Joker in the theater, and they were mad that I couldn't come.
I don't know why that just really.
I was like, I gotta work.
They're like, yeah, we have to see Joker right now. So.
I think I came out on top. I don't know. I think I might have came out on top. But yeah, after watching it then for the video, like I was blown away. Like I couldn't believe how connected I got to these characters and to the story and what they were going through and what was happening. It was the first video I think that I did where that happened, where I genuinely like got connected and engrossed in a story and like a bunch of characters' lives. It's such a mature show.
Absolutely.
They touch on things and talk about things in ways that like I feel like we've lost. Like I don't even think things since have even like gone to the lengths that the show has gone.
Yeah. I really do not think that pretty much any cartoon that I can think of, like for kids anyway, and even a lot for adults or teens. There really is no cartoons for teens, by the way. But whatever. That's a discussion for another time. Not saying teens can't enjoy cartoons or adults can't or whatever. But like, there's not ones made for this demographic. Yeah. And this, I remember as a kid. I will get into this, I guess, when I talk about my history. But like, thinking that the show was like too mature for me, and that I needed time before I got back to it. But I like respected it. But yeah, Morgan, how about you? What is your history with the show?
My history is I swore it was boring as a child. I swore it was boring. But that also is like not a good indication like of the quality of a show. Shows like quality, because I thought a lot of shit was boring as a kid because I was a fucking kid. But there was a point where like this was on Teen Nick in those circles, and anyone who knows me knows that I am and was the Degrassi head.
Okay.
So I started getting back into it because I wanted to watch Degrassi. Truly, actually, wait, no one knows this. This is at the. Oh wait a minute. I've never seen a day in my life.
This is some shit that you've talked about to me, but we haven't recorded about this.
Also, it's like me being Degrassi is the most out of left field shit too. Like I feel like it's like, what are you talking? Morgan, you're so hateful. How do you enjoy Degrassi? Easily. Anyway, but yeah, so I got back into it because I was like seeing that with other stuff. I just wanted to like the Teen Nick and like also the N, all that stuff really did give you like a pseudo adrenaline boost of, man, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm 14. What you know about that? Like just like so I was like very much
I'm
getting
7,
back
but
to
I feel like I'm 9.
Exactly, yeah, like some fake I'm adult shit. But like I watched it and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. It felt weird to me still then, but like it was so interesting. And I remember my biggest takeaway from like when I first watched when I was like a teenager at this point, like an early teen, was that, and I don't know how to say this in a way that sounds better, that Miranda served cunt. And that's all I could think about was like, yeah. There's probably something bad about the one main black girl in the show being awful, but she does it in a way where it sparks joy. So,
delightfully mean.
I stand. Yeah, like,
yeah.
I think it's like, It's also like, I don't know, I was just so obsessed with Miranda. Like, yeah, she's so right and she's so mean. And this probably is going to lead into like the other things I had going on of like being closeted and not knowing stuff as a young child. But like yeah, Miranda's like the best. I remember thinking like, dude, I hope Ginger does fail. I hope Ginger does go through hell if it makes Miranda happy. Like,
Miranda, she's so good. And Cree Summer, this is like the first time she's done like an evil black girl. I mean, this is before Kids Next Door, actually, so it is before Cree.
And that's a different inflection. That's a different voice.
Yeah.
Cree sounds and behaves very different from Miranda too. Mm-hmm. Like,
she's more of like a supervillain, whereas in like, I don't know, this is more like the devious scheming sort of like underhanded. She's like the like evil vizier of the king, you know, with Courtney. Being the king.
Yeah. There's no Courtney section of this cartoon where Miranda has like good intentions.
Yeah. But that's like really cool because for the most part, like either the black character is like so bland that it's just not offensive at all.
Right.
Or they're given, or the black girls specifically are given like the sassy persona. Right. So like, this is like very fresh for, you know, like 2000s cartoons.
Like, Miranda's not trying to be likable. They're not writing Miranda to be like cool or likable anyway. Right. She's popular. It feels like cause she's mean, which is like true to life kind of from middle school. But like, it's so interesting. I do think also we're gonna do a section on like voice acting, but there's like a specific, like for lack of a better term, bitchy nasal that Cree Summer adds to Miranda that scratches like a part of my brain whenever I hear her laugh or do anything. I'm like, oh yeah, there's like I know Miranda smells like cocoa butter and really nice, but she also tells me I should die when I walk past her. I'm like, yeah, I know what you're about. Okay, I understand. Like, it's so good. But I was just like obsessed with Miranda. And like I just thought like, oh, Miranda's cool.
And you haven't rewatched it since you were a teenager.
No. I caught a few episodes like a few years back, like maybe like at this point 10. But like no, this was like my first big rewatch. That's part of the reason I picked the show is because I was like, this seems like my shit. I feel like if we rewatch this, I would like love it more than I love anything. And I was right. So
yeah. Very similar. Like I said, when it was on, I felt like, oh, I'm too young for this. Give me rocket power and wild thornberries, sir. Like, that's what I chose to watch instead of this, just because it was a little bit too mature for me. Even though, like, now coming back to it, obviously it's all, like, teen melodrama. But, I don't know, that's out of the wheelhouse of a little kid who's, like, SpongeBob is his main caloric intake.
Right.
You know, and I would still say SpongeBob is probably my favorite Nickelodeon show, if just because of those like formative years watching it.
Sure, yeah.
We talked about that in the previous episode, but like I do agree that this is like maybe the best one. Like I genuinely can't think. I mean, the only ones that I could think of that are in contention of it would be stuff like Hey Arnold, which is a similar style, but just in like a New York setting, so it gets points from me.
Hey Arnold's really good. To be mentioned with Hey Arnold's kind of crazy. Right. Like, Hey Arnold's like wild good.
Yeah. And then other shows that are like completely in a different genre, like Avatar, you know, which I know Morgan just...
I'm not saying anything. I didn't say anything.
Wait, what's going on?
Yo, listen, look, we got to... In a year, there'll be an episode to explain my beef with Avatar. If you like Avatar, that's fair. Not coming at you. But, you know, I don't know. There's issues.
You're in safe hands. Like, I'm not, like, attached to the cartoon. You know, I never... I only watched it when it... I only watched like the first couple when it aired, but like I never got like attached and like I never finished it or anything like that.
That's like the normal way to watch Avatar.
Yeah,
like the normal, and not like to like
episode.
Yeah, not like
every single year I'm rewatching it on Netflix and you know.
Yeah, I'm just like, hey, let's bring it back. What if we did something else?
Yeah, so but I mean more so in like the general fandom sense of like
yeah,
I get you.
Like the size.
If people are talking about Nickelodeon shows, Avatar is going to come
that
up.
Always felt it always kind of felt unfair too, right? Because like
Yeah.
when you look at like a Nickelodeon tier list or something like that, it's like, yeah, I guess I'll put this at the top, but it's such like a boring thing to talk about because
like
you just got like Rugrats and like Doug, Ren and stuff, like all these like cartoony cartoons, and then there's just this one, boom, objectively best, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, whatever, fine, I guess.
That's why I think that this is, maybe it's a little unfair, but it is also like, it's Klasky Csupo, it's essential Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
Bam. You can't really get more Nickelodeon than Klasky Csupo.
That's right.
Because they started with Rugrats, you know, and that was like, that kind of built the foundation of like their, you know, the original Nicktoons.
And like what they want to do. I like think about Klasky Csupo and like the studio and what it did. I think we've talked about, like, because we are a Cartoon Network show first and foremost. We talk about Cartoon Network studio stuff. I think the closest and like, I know SpongeBob is like very important. Fairly Odd Parents is very important. These are all very formative shows to the network, right? But the things that made Nickelodeon and Nicktoons and later like Teen Nick and all that stuff feel in itself, that haze of orange, that, for lack of a better term, is those shows. It is Hey Arnold. It is this. It is Rugrats. That like vibe of like, yeah, I'm not watching Cartoon Network right now. I'm watching Nickelodeon, and this is a specific vibe that does not exist on Cartoon Network. And I think like that's like my favorite thing about like a certain era of animation, was that everyone was trying to, like, even if they had other shows that were more popular, they were trying to like hammer out what's that vibe. I think Disney even did a version of it too. Yeah, Disney even did like a really good version of it, because Disney had like that almost weirdly close to like, feels like I'm watching a movie, but it's a TV show quality of shows. Like, it's crazy to me that like the Lilo and Stitch show is good. It's crazy to me that like you have DuckTales, Kim Possible, those shows all have a vibe to them too. Like, they feel like you're watching a Disney movie that is turned into a show, and it works so well. And like, it's nice that like these were all the different vibes that they had. Like, that's kind of disappeared now because, you know, people can make stuff in any studio, and I think that's good. I think that is a net positive. But it used to be nice. Go ahead.
I was just saying, there's a lot of cross pollination between.
But there was like a vibe where like, hey, if I was a kid, I'm like, I want a specific feeling. You knew what channel for kids to go to watch that. And this really brought me back to, I'm like, damn, this is like, there's nothing like this that we've watched for Cartoon Network. And like, Cartoon Buffoons, we probably won't watch anything like this for Cartoon Buffoons unless we're doing like a Nickelodeon one. Like, and I think that's okay. I don't think it's good or bad. I think it's like a neutral thing. That's just true.
Yeah,
man, I get that. I think part of that too. I talked to D'Angelo about this. Hats Off Media. I talked to him about this a bunch. But I think part of it too is like that era that you're talking about, like the branding for all of those networks too really pushed that vibe, each vibe that you're talking about. You know what I mean? Especially like, everybody always talks about like Sea and City, but like everybody else kind of did stuff like that too, where like they would just kind of put all the characters together, or like, you know, have them do things outside of the narrative. Like even just like the You're Watching Disney Channel where they'll draw the Mickey Mouse silhouette. Like they had the cartoons do that sometime. You know, stuff like that. And since that's missing, the shows aren't even like unified anymore. Like it was very easy to tell what was airing what years on which channel because of the promos that would air in between. It would really give you a sense of like what the era was. But since that doesn't really happen like that anymore, I think that's why everything doesn't seem as unified. Like when I think of As Told by Ginger, I think of the Teen Nick logo or the N logo, and I think of like, you know, like the vibe of those promos coming on maybe in between like Drake and Josh or something like that. You know what I mean?
Like Nicktoons, watching that in deep cable and suffering through an episode of Kappa Mikey, and then you get your award as Told by Ginger. But I guess to finish my own personal history, because I got kind of distracted there for a second, but just, you know, watched it as a kid, didn't appreciate it, came back to it as a teen, probably 2009, 2010. This was like right when I was like really getting and becoming a cartoon nerd. It was like right before Adventure Time and Regular Show came out, so it was like that really carried me. But I remember being a guy who just goes on Wiki. Not fan wikis. This is before that.
Okay.
Wikipedia, and just looking up, like going on dives about it and seeing, just like learning about all these cartoons and being like, oh man, I want to watch it. And then you could just go on YouTube and people just uploaded full episodes of the cartoons. And As Told by Ginger was one that like really caught my eye because they mentioned that the original plan for Courtney was that she would like actually confess her love to Ginger, and maybe there would be like a oh, I'm not into you that way or whatever, like there would be that kind of plot, but it would happen either way. But it was pushed away by the network, so it took until like Korra with its two girls holding hands and staring at each other as the ending for them for the first time to have like a lesbian couple portrayed in a Nickelodeon show. But Ginger tried to like break new ground like a decade before that, and that really excited me, especially because watching the show at that time, Courtney was one of my favorite characters. I mean, she is now definitely one of my favorite characters rewatching it for this podcast because she's just so funny and so adorable. I mean, all the characters are so fucking good in this show. Like, nobody is bad. Like, I can't think of a single... Like, even somebody like Dodie...
I knew that Dodie was going to come.
I mean, she grew on me. So I was watching the show.
Thank you, dude. Because
I
got... that video I did is like 5 years old, and I still get shit for that. Like, where I say, like, I thought Dodie was gonna be the worst because of how everybody was talking about her, but like, I like that. She's cool. Like, I don't know. She's a little annoying as a child, but she's cool.
She's like an annoying teenage girl, but that's like totally fucking. That's fine. That's like whatever. She's a teen. She's allowed to be annoying.
She also like mellows out once she's in high school. Like,
that's also true.
Realistically, she like goes look, like she's still like full of herself and like has things she wants to do above everything else. But that's kind of just who she is as a person. She's no longer like conniving like she can get sometimes. Because like realistically, we're going to talk about it in this folder. I don't want to get too into it, but like this show's ability to go, hey, I know people go, stuff doesn't matter once you graduate high school. Realistically, stuff stops mattering when you graduate middle school. Really? Yeah. A lot of shit stops mattering once you get into high school. No one has time. Like, no one has the time.
That's how I felt. Because in middle school, I was bullied a lot. And I felt very miserable, especially, like, towards the end of middle school. And then once high school hit, I was like, oh, none of that mattered at all. Like, now I'm just playing Yu-Gi-Oh! With my friends in study hall, so...
Everybody's getting ass beat by puberty, like learning what money is and everything. Like, I don't have time to fucking throw you in the locker. What am I, 7?
Did y'all happen to catch that episode where Ginger has all of the super hard classes when she first gets to high school?
Yes.
And then she like maxes out on like coffee and shit. Like, that's like real shit. Like she like if you get like, because I've had a couple. I was nowhere near Ginger level, but I had a couple like super hard classes where the teacher just didn't give a fuck, and it's like, damn, I don't got time to worry about any of this stupid shit. I gotta do this project.
No, like being like a teenager, you just go, these teachers are mean, and then like as a adult like this, now I gotta build. They do deal with teenagers all the time, and teenagers do suck. But like there are some people like this. If you're late, you can't come in. We don't accept late home. I'm like, bro, hold on. You gotta stop. I had recess a year ago.
Word.
I'm only like 3 years out from that time. You can't be coming at me like this. I need you to take a second. But like, no, 9th grade teachers would be like, yeah, no, actually, I don't care if you live or die. I'm like, fuck.
Man, when I would just get older in high school and I see the freshmen running down the hall with all their textbooks in their bag heavy as hell, like, you know what I mean, all a bunch of stuff that you learn, like you learn different tricks, and like, okay, I guess I don't have to do that the later high school goes. But like that first year, just seeing those kids like race to try to get in class, it's like it's so rough. I saw these four kids
because you feel like real alone, and not like the kids are mean, and like like you are now. You gotta ambulate. People are not going to be running up on you. They're not going to be checking up on you because like this is it. High school teachers don't have time. They teach so many classes with so many students. You gotta kind of just let it go. But I do think it's great because like freshman year, big book bag, all that stuff. By senior year, I was leaving books in classrooms to just pick up again when I was there. I was like, "There's no stress here. I got one book.
Whatever.
I got my phone, and that's all I need."
I never used my fucking locker. Like I just,
same.
I just brought my backpack with me. I was just like, whatever.
I didn't have a locker, dude. They didn't even like they said like, oh, okay, we will get you a locker, and they just never did. I went through high school carrying everything. But yeah, like you said, by the time I got
it was so crazy by senior year. Like I was a pretty good student. So by the time I got to senior year, I kind of just, the senioritis kicked in. It's like the last couple months of school. It's like, oh, whatever, who cares? I did so well that like I just kind of stopped caring. So I would come to school late sometime, and the class was in the middle. Apparently, this was the day we were supposed to watch The Great Gatsby with Leonardo DiCaprio. And I came in. I swear I didn't do this on purpose. When I walked in, that's when they shot Gatsby. And like he was falling into the pool, and then like I laughed, and the entire class got upset.
It's like I looked up and they shot him. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I do think like the whole don't peak in high school thing is real. Don't peak in high school, right? Mm-hmm. But I do think those like outside of the stress of like college or like graduating stuff like that, them last 4 months of being in your senior year is the freest you gonna feel in a long time.
Hell yeah.
You're just like, yeah, this shit don't matter no more. And you're just like, yeah, I'm free. I'm free, man.
Yeah.
Like,
what you gonna do? Kick me out?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they can't do anything to you. I was like I was bad in high school. I'm gonna be real. I was bad. But like that was like, yeah, I'm free.
I had to go to fucking summer school.
Senior year?
In senior year. Yeah. Ooh. So I unfortunately did not have that, but that summer school felt particularly like,
oh, I bet.
Who cares? Whatever.
This is it.
And guess it was for gym class, because for some reason I cannot tell you why I never changed clothes during gym. I was like, nope, not changing. So I had to like make up those classes in summer school. And like the fact that there was summer school for gym,
I'm about to say, so you just kind of played like basketball.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they could have just sent you to the YMCA and made you wrong.
Yo, I'm like, pal, I'm gonna be outside anyway. It's summer. Can we just say I did it? Come on, this is ridiculous. Like,
senior year of high school, they made you go to damn summer school for gym.
I know.
I gotta fight. I gotta fight somebody. I think I gotta like.
I mean, it was like 12 years ago at this point. So
still, I'm about to be paying rent in a couple years. Y'all making me run laps to graduate? What is this?
I gotta register with a political party. You can't be making me do laps when I'm graduating. But I guess we should go into the characters, because there's a lot of times we watch shows and like the main characters are never my favorite characters, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Ginger Foutley might be the GOAT. I think Ginger is great. Like such a perfect main character to follow, because she's like the mid ground between everyone else. She cares about things that doesn't matter, but she doesn't care about things that don't matter to the degree of like Dodie.
Yeah.
Like she's like the perfect mid ground between everyone else in the show, and I love her so much. She's like, it would be so easy to make her and Carl have like all the tropes of like older sibling, younger sibling, and they have a few of them because that's just kind of how it is.
Right.
But Ginger is like so grounded in a way where you can't help but like her, even when she's wrong. Ginger's in the wrong a lot, but even then I'm like, I don't know, man. I fucking love Ginger. She's so good.
You mentioned Carl, like he's like him and Hoodsey. Those subplots.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're
are
what
so
really
good.
Yeah, they would really keep it like they. I don't know how to explain it other than like they're what make it a cartoon. You know?
No, they do. Like whenever there's like a point where Ginger's like, oh yeah, this episode's a little heavy. You know, Ginger's having breakdowns and stuff. Carl's like this. Anyway, here's a subplot about, I don't know, we want to kill and kidnap the groundhog. And I'm like, what do you mean?
Right.
Carl's like, let me inject some cartoon into this thing. And the thing is, it's not like, sometimes it's a little bit too silly, but it's fine because Carl feels like a 10-year-old who's too smart. Like he's a 10-year-old who's too intelligent, but still has the soul of a 10-year-old. Like,
yeah, the plots, I think they work really well because, or surprisingly well, they feel very much like they were like, oh, the network is like, look, you can do all this teen drama stuff, but you have to have like a young boy character for that entry point, you know, yada yada yada. And they were like, all right, we'll do that, and they did it. But it's still like the same people writing both parts of the show, so it still has that same like maturity and intelligence to the writing.
Yeah.
Even if like what they're doing is stupider than what's happening on like in the Ginger part of the show, that it never feels. It's always like a fun diversion.
Right.
Like during the like season 1 finale, which is very long. It's like 3 parts. They like, oh, you have all this like melodrama at summer camp, and then it keeps cutting back to Hoodsey and Carl like dicking around with their fake vampire themed like house cleaning service where they're trying to investigate like the kidnappings of these dogs. Right. And yeah, it's just like so ridiculous, and the fact that like, you know, these 2 plots basically don't interact whatsoever. I don't know. Despite all this stuff, it's just a very entertaining thing. I agree that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think one of my favorite things about Carl is that Carl, a lot of times outside of his side plot, will give Ginger life advice, even though he's like 10. And I think it's always like, why am I listening to you like this? Why do you keep asking? And I'm like, fuck, Carl. Like, also, Carl is like so easy to go, oh, he's Ginger's gross brother who likes gross stuff. That's not his main character trait. Right. His main character trait is that he's a certifiable bag chaser.
He gets to that. Yeah, there we go. He gets to that bag.
Carl's like this. I got one thing on my mind: money. He's like, I gotta get this shit together. Every episode, Carl like this is the new plan, Hoodsey. We are going to get this fucking bread. I'm like, let's go. It's so funny. Like, because he doesn't look it. He's still such a kid like this. Nah, I need money. And if I could get money while doing the gross things that I enjoy as a 10-year-old boy, I will put those together. And I'm like, what a respectable way to live.
You know what I like
you
too,
love what you do.
about Carl and Hoodsey is that even though we're saying like those plots get really ridiculous and they're a good buffer to the melodrama that's usually happening on Ginger's side, like a character like Carl isn't just like deprived of emotion. Like Carl goes through some shit through the show. Like in the second episode, he befriends an old lady and she just dies.
Yeah.
She just dies. And like
I was watching it, my partner went, did she just die? Yeah, she just like dead? Yeah, she's dead.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like later in the series, obviously it's for a very unfortunate reason, but like his teacher dies. Like, and he was like, you know, that teacher is there for the whole cartoon, and he's like, you know, like fucking with her the whole cartoon, and like, you know, making her life miserable, and then she just like passes away. You know what I mean? Like it's it's like a serious thing. Like it's a genuine reaction from him. Earlier in the episode, he got the chance to apologize to her, you know, for making her feel like shit, and like, you know, making her life rough, which is cool that they gave that character that moment before that. But even when I think about Carl too, I think about like, I don't know if that's the first episode we see the dad, but when we see the dad, and Carl is just kind of like, he's like, man, I don't even know you. Like, why did you leave? I'm the only man in this house now. Why did you leave the family? I don't know you. Like,
what?
So mature.
One of my favorite things about Carl and like with his dad is like, I had a dad that was like kind of shitty, like not a bad guy inherently, but just wasn't around. And Carl's like, some of my favorite bits and jokes and moments is Carl with like his mom's boyfriend, Dr. Dave.
Love Dr.
Carl
Dave.
loves that man. That's his dad.
That's a good
like,
man.
I love, like, he's like, I love the moment where Ginger's sick and they're all in there. Like, Carl's dad is there and their mom is in there with Ginger, and Dr. Dave is outside because he doesn't want to like intrude on the family moment. And he says, "Yeah, you could go in there, Carl." Carl says, "No, I'm right. I'm okay out here, Dr. Dave." And he just holds Dr. Dave's hand, and Dr. Dave smiles. I'm like, this is so good.
Yeah.
I love seeing the depth of Carl. Like, yeah, he missed having a father figure, and Dr. Dave is that to him now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he has like sweet moments with him, and like he's very like comfortable with him. And the show just such a good job of showing like what families look like when they're non-traditional. Like it's so neat, it's so good. And I'm glad Carl could have those emotional moments, like with like his teachers passing or anything. Like also him and his friendship with Hoodsey is also very good. It's
Yeah, Hoodsey, again, that's another character that, like, you could just see him and be like, oh, he's going to be, like, a lame, like, generic sort of sidekick character,
Sure.
but he's, like, given a lot of depth and given, like, some focus in certain episodes, and it's just, like, very funny, and, like, Tress MacNeille, you know, just, again...
all-time voice.
Another all-time voice actress, you know, I know her... most from like Simpsons and from Tiny Toons and stuff, and Animaniacs as well. Just great, just good shit all around. Also, the episode, the like Christmas Hanukkah thing is very real as somebody who has a Jewish mother, but it isn't practicing, where it's like, do you want to respect your culture, or do you just want to do the easy thing and be like, whatever, Christmas, everybody does Christmas, let's just let's just continue to, let's just do that, because like we don't really celebrate Christmas, but we're just like, all right, around December 20th or something, we get together and we give gifts to each other, so there you go, and we have a family meal. It's great, because Hanukkah, look, I'm sorry, fellow members of the tribe of Judah. It sucks. Nobody
Jesus,
wants
why? You just said it sucks. Just
nobody
like
wants to be giving 8 gifts across. That's too many days. Okay, I don't.
Like, I want to slide in, visit my family for one day, and call it a fucking deal.
Yeah,
like, that's
I'm sorry. I'm not on King Antiochus' side. I'm just saying that, you know, it's a little bit annoying, and also like you get shitty gifts too, so it's just whatever. Passover's better anyway.
we were talking about Hoodsey, and I do want to bring up my favorite Hoodsey moment, which is that he is nicer than Carl.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things is when I don't want to get too deep into side characters yet, but Brandon has like a birthday party that no one wants to go to. And Carl's like, I'm not going to that shit. And Hoodsey's like, come on, Carl, we have to go. He's going to be alone. We all know he's weird. Also, what a crazy Grey Delisle performance as Brandon. That kid is insufferable. I have never had a show so perfectly make an annoying child in my entire life. Like, it's like, hey, Carl, what are you? I'm like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. His monkey wants to die instead of being with him is the craziest joke they do.
You know who he kind of reminds me of? Y'all ever see Home Movies?
Yes.
He reminds me of those two kids.
Walter and Perry. Walter and Perry. It's but I guess going to like Ginger's friends, we did Hoodsey and Carl. We talked about Dodie. Dodie is not that bad, everyone. Yeah. She sucks, but she sucks in like the way
it's fun.
Preteens
She's
suck.
a kid.
It's fine.
Yeah, she's just a kid.
Yeah.
I do think there's episodes where I go, all right, but Ginger, your mom should maybe like limit how much you hang out with Dodie though. Because they're like this. Listen, look, they're like this. Ginger, it's healthy and normal to have a crush on your teacher. You should ask him out on a date. And I'm like, all right, Dodie. Now we're doing too much.
Hold on.
Now we're doing too much, Dodie. We got to bring it back. Like
there's one episode that I always think about where I'm like, this should not have happened. This is like, I can see the anger towards the character like Dodie. There's the episode after Ginger and Darren start to date.
Oh, and, yeah.
Like Macy and Dodie are just kind of upset that they don't see Ginger as often. So instead of like talking to her about it, they like stage a coup to like get them to break up.
Yeah.
And they're on like this like 6-way phone call. All like the characters of the cartoon are on the phone, and like they're finding out. And like Courtney's the one that like brings it to Ginger's attention, I think.
Courtney's the one that tells everybody,
which is great thematically, just because like the relationship between Courtney and Ginger is like the most fun thing to watch in that cartoon. Just kind of seeing Courtney go from like fascinated by Ginger, and Ginger kind of being like a little standoffish, to like them genuinely becoming friends. But yeah, like I think that was like the worst thing that I think Dodie, and by extension Macy too.
I think what makes it evil is that when it starts, Dodie's so mean. At one point, Darren's talking about stuff that he wants to do, and Dodie's like, "No one cares, Darren. No one cares." And then Ginger's like, "Damn, I care, Dodie. He's still our friend and my boyfriend." And like Dodie's like, "We got to break them up." And Macy's like, "I don't know. This is like a good idea." And Dodie's like, "It is a good idea." And Macy fucking folds to peer pressure.
She does.
Then Dodie's like, "We need help," and goes to Miranda and Mipsy. I'm like, "Damn, she's getting like the Legion of Doom."
Yeah,
to break up her friend. I'm like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck is going on here?"
It's like so funny, and it ends in like a way that feels real, in a way that bums me out. Is that there is no like big apology.
No.
Ginger is just hurt, and that episode ends. Like, it's so brutal. Because, like, a lot of times when you get into arguments and stuff with your friends when you're younger, there is no big, like, reconciliation apology.
Yeah, right.
You guys stay friends, and you're just, your feelings are still hurt. Like,
There's just that, like, underlying sadness and resentment that stays there. And it's just like, we're all too awkward to confront this. So,
it just kind of ends with, like, that like, voice. She sends her like a voicemail, I think, because Ginger doesn't answer the phone. Back when, if you didn't answer the phone, it would like record on tape. And it just kind of ends like that. In the next episode, they're like friends again. I don't know if they were aired out of order or anything. But.
So it actually comes up. Ginger's like a little awkward around her in some points. And like Ginger goes like, I don't have to hang out with Dodie. Like she says, Dodie did me dirty. I could do Dodie dirty. That's kind of like the plot of the next episode. I'm like, damn, that's kind of real, but brutal.
I think that's like, I don't know. It's not a problem necessarily with like modern cartoon. Obviously, I'm an adult man, so take this with a grain of salt, people. But like, a lot of shows sort of default to that format of like, all right, it's the end of the episode, time for everybody to get together and say, guys, I'm sorry, and then explain the moral of the episode. Even like primarily comedy shows like Big City Greens, does that. And I just kind of like that because I'm also watching Boondocks. Like I'm watching season 2 of that, and that is a show that does have some episodes that have like a moral lesson, but a lot of them just end. Like we just watched the basketball episode in season 2, and that just ends with them losing, and Tom is mad, and then it's just like, all right, well, Riley sucks. He can't win. Episode is just over. So there we go.
Right.
You have reminded me of the best joke from the episode, which is, look at this beautiful scene. Haven't seen something like this since the ending of Mighty Ducks.
Poor guy.
And Tom goes, it's just throwing stuff on the ground and cursing. It's like the funniest bit.
I laughed like Tom, his only frame of reference for like a sports movie.
Also, Riley going, they caught your mama throwing neck behind the school.
Yeah, and it wasn't your daddy. Who told you these things?
And I think I love Granddad. Like, oh, I heard something. I'm like, yo, this is truly all-time episode of the Boondocks. Really
I
funny.
think that second season of Boondocks is top 5 greatest seasons of television. Like there are zero misses, 0 skips. It is funny the whole way through. And I think to your point too is I think with a lot of comedy shows, the point is it's obviously the to tell jokes and to be funny, but like since the inception of the sitcom, it has always been to teach the character something or like to say something. It doesn't have to be extremely profound, but usually things end with them trying to say something. And I think the thing was something like that specific episode of the Boondocks, which I think is just called Ballin', which is funny.
Yep.
With something like that, the commentary is more so in Riley's view of being a basketball player, and the sensationalization of it is not in anything that he has to learn. It's in just showing us the reflection. So that's why they can get away with like ending it silly, because it's like, well, you already got what we were saying. Let's just be stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually the Huey episodes are the ones that have like a very strong point to them, or at least ones that feature his perspective heavily, even if it's not like about him.
Right.
And then like even some Granddad episodes, but for the most part, like, and like Riley really didn't get. I'm making this about Boondocks. I'm sorry, but like, you know, Riley did not get that much in the first season, so it was just nice to see him, because he's just like such a funny character, because it's like he acts the way that he does despite being a rich kid that has absolutely struggled at no point in his life, but wants so badly to be, you know, part of this culture. So, yeah.
Oh, come on. He was from the hood for a minute.
That, like, yeah, I guess, like, yeah. Let's say Riley, yeah.
I guess back on Asshole by Ginger. We have to talk about Ginger's good friend, who has faults. Macy is the funniest TV character ever. I can't stop.
Just the funniest character design.
The character design, the voice performance, the thing she says. It truly like just a perfect storm of being the funniest character possible. Like I know the like seal, like the little seal girl is like talked about constantly. But Macy going, y'all are embarrassed. You disgust me. Be like, you guys disgust me.
Do I look like somebody who's concerned about what's cool?
No. And the other Courtney going, there's something so genuine about how much she's enjoying this. I'm like, get into it, Macy. Fuck yeah. Like,
I was saying, I think it's like literally one of the best fucking episodes of the whole show. Just like, it's such a strong season one. I can't believe it's season one. First of all, like, an episode that good in like that early on is just crazy. But like, I don't know, it just is, it hits that perfect melodrama. It puts, you know, Dodie and Ginger in this sort of position where we understand where they're coming from, but we also really yearn for them to like
be free.
Like, come on, just be free, just be kids. You're still kids. And like that moment where they're like on the swing and Dodie's like, I guess we're too old for that. But nobody told me when that happened, is like, that's so real. I remember being 10 years old and getting Pokemon Emerald for my birthday and, you know, talking about it with some of my older brother's friends, and then said like, oh, you still like Pokemon, that's for kids. And I said, but I am a kid.
Yeah, I'm fucking 10, relax.
Yeah.
Like, there was like, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's like stuck with me for like the rest of my life, obviously. You know, 20 years later, I'm recalling the story.
But like, I vividly remember there was a point where I was like, oh, let me throw away all my toys and stuff that I have that I care about because I'm too old, you know? And then, no joke, I got into middle school like near the end of it, and I was like, wait a minute. I don't care. And I just started like truly getting that stuff back, because like there's like a real like there's this weird bell curve of being young where you go, I can't do all this stuff anymore because it's like childish, and then you go down and you go, wow, no one that matters gives a fuck. Like and it's so nice, like, and there is people like Macy who are like free from that, like she's like truly like free from it, and it's nice that like by the end of it, Ginger and Dodie are like, damn, Macy's actually like kind of like, you know, real for that. Like,
yeah, she's way cooler than us. Like, she is.
It's funny because I think in a lot of ways, Macy reflects Courtney sometimes, specifically in high school. Because I guess when Courtney gets to high school, she's like rich and stuff in middle school, right? She was rich in middle school, has cell phones, stuff like that. And in high school, she's like this, oh, I'm gonna be cool because of that. And I like this, we don't really care. what? Yeah, we don't really care. Like, I was watching it with my partner. My partner says the kids that are popular are the ones doing extra credit stuff and all the extracurriculars, not because that makes them cool, but because they just know people.
Yeah.
Like you're doing like having money will help you a little bit, right? But the kids that like people remember and like are cool with are the ones who like do yearbook and all this other stuff because they're talking to people.
Exactly, they're always
like,
around. Yeah.
Like this false hierarchy that you build is a lot more complicated once you get to high school. And it's funny because Macy also is in like a bunch of stuff, and there's people that know Macy and like they ask like, hey, who's that about her? It's so interesting that like you could go from middle school of being like a loser to high school of like, this shit doesn't really matter anymore. And I think it's so neat to see Courtney I don't think it's neat to see her get bullied because she's a nice girl, but I think it's interesting that she's the one that has all these problems in high school compared to someone like Macy.
Yeah, and not to go back to Macy, but she's just
you can,
yeah, she's probably my favorite character just because of how endearing and adorable she is. Very, very funny. And like that's her design and her attitude is like the perfected version of like the Chucky. Yeah, and I love Chucky as well. But like taking that type of character, like nerdy friend character, like I don't think anybody did it better before. I don't think anybody has done it better since. So I don't know. Like she's just kind of like almost the perfect character in that way, and she's maybe not the heart of the show because that's Ginger, but she adds so much flavor to that side of the show. But I think Courtney is very high up there because like, dear God, am I so glad that we have a character who's like the uptight rich girl who is not like mean,
evil, like the devil.
Yeah. She's just like, she's a little bit rude and blunt, but that comes from a place of ignorance, not from a place of like malice, you know?
Yeah.
Miranda's evil, but like but Courtney is not, and that's fine, you know, and they like really balance each other out. And it's also very clear that Miranda, like, she's a good person deep down, you know. She's like, and she does love Courtney, you know get what I'm saying. And it's and that like just seeing her, especially like in the summer camp episode, where she's like way better at the military camp stuff than Darren is, and like especially when they get like stranded on that island and you see her like sharpening the stick and being like, you know, you actually could benefit from a summer at military school. Where she has already like locked the fuck in. She knows what she's doing. It's just great. She's just like, those two are also just such good characters that really complement each other. And again, go ahead.
We gotta talk about Darren.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we barely even.
I am the, not to be too much myself, I'm the last person that will defend a man on the internet, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, let's do it. Okay, let's do it.
Darren did nothing wrong. We gotta ease up. We gotta ease up on my man a little bit. Hold on. We gotta ease up on my man a little bit. Darren has been nothing but real since day one. You know, even when he falters, he is still real. Mm-hmm. I love Darren. It is so nice to have like a legitimate, like, main character love interest who is a black man who feels black, but also is like, Darren has the real story of being the uncool black brother to a really cool older black brother. Yeah. I think like he's like, I'm the little brother. My brother's really cool. I am not. Let's get that together real quick, everybody. Like I love his, but also him and his brother's relationship is so good. I love Darren. He's so funny. He has some of my favorite moments across the board. I also love how much of a friend he is with everyone. It could have been really easy to make Darren just Ginger's friend.
Sure, yeah.
But he's like Macy's friend. He's Dodie's friend. Him and Miranda even have a weird friendship going on, like you talked about, Wyatt. He's so good. I also love the episode where he gets his braces off and he goes see Ginger's first. And it's like my favorite black moment in television, like cartoons, where he goes, oh, I gotta go see my mom. And his mom just goes, ah, my baby! And I'm like, that's real. That's fucking real. Like, I think like people are so hard on him. Like,
Yeah.
I think him and Ginger, they've known each other since they were babies. They needed to break up in high school so they could be full humans. Let them do that.
Yeah. Nah, I agree. I remember when I was watching this show, I don't know where I heard or seen that, or if I just misremembered from when I was a kid, but like something in the air was preparing me for Darren to cheat on Ginger, and it just like never happens. They just kind of organically, like he becomes cool with like a cheerleader, but he never like crosses any like boundaries. And the second that it seems as though that's going to happen, and like I think like Dodie like kind of pulls him to the side. He didn't even realize what was going on. Then he instantly is like, well, I can't hurt Ginger. That's the homie. Like, so he like, he tries to navigate it the best way he can, and there's no real easy way to do that, especially like not at that age. Do I think it's a little melodramatic that her fucking appendix explodes after that? A little bit.
Yeah.
It's still great.
Yeah.
It's still real. It was real shit he had to deal with.
And Ginger also gets very close to, I guess maybe it's not cheating because they're not really dating at that point, but like her and Sasha is like a little bit.
Yeah.
That's is that the camp? Is it Sasha from camp?
Yeah, that's the camp.
And then, did you guys see the
locket
episode
with him kissing her? It's like, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's serious. Did you guys see the episode when she went on a band trip in high school, I think, because she knew that Sasha was in the band at his school. So she tried to go, like, oh, well, I'm going to just go see Sasha. And then Sasha was
You're
just
moving
kind of
weird,
like,
Ginger.
Sasha was like, like, what's up with you? Like, that was like camp.
Yeah. You're moving really interesting, Ginger. You got to start bringing it back a little bit. But yeah, no, I think it's like, it's great because even though they, like, at the end of the last episode, like, oh, they did get together, they got married, they have a child, and stuff like that. Like, listen, I think it's good that, like, their moms are still friends and all that stuff. They probably needed to be away from each other for their college careers. That's just probably, like, the natural thing to happen. I think, like, if they would have just been together the whole time, you would have came to hate each other. It's good they broke up. All that stuff is really good and natural.
Mature. Like, I feel that it's just, like, mature writing. It's, like, understanding that it's, like, this is how people work. It's not always, like, a fairy tale sort of like, oh, they're together forever. Sometimes
like it's not real,
and then they get back together and whatever. That's just life.
I do want to say because we have to talk about voice acting, but I guess we'll start now. The voice acting in the show, fantastic. I spent 30 minutes of my life listening to Darren's older brother and going, why does this motherfucker sound familiar to me?
Yeah.
And it's fucking Guy Torry, who is another black legend of sitcoms and comedy writing and everything and movies. And, like, that's why he sounds familiar. And, like, I could, like, now hear the smile on his face as he performs Darren's brother.
Yeah.
But, like, the voice acting is so good in the show across the board. Like, it's also, like, not, like, it has a few of them. Like, Cree Summers, of course, is in the show. But it's not flooded with, like, the voice actors of the time to, like, such a high degree.
Yeah,
and it's nice that it's not like that.
Gray Delisle, like...
It's a bit role for the most part.
Yeah, and she's like, this was at a point where before she really like blew up. She was in like, this was like early 2000s, so it was right before she was in 1 million billion fucking Cartoon Network shows.
Yeah, I think As Told by Ginger is 2000 and Billy and Mandy is like 2003 or something.
So
it's like right
also Kaf Susi
as Blake
what a crazy high tier Kaf Susi voice. Blake is we didn't talk about Blake is the funniest rich like he's what you imagine Courtney should be, and it's so funny that he's like that hello Carl and Hoodsey. Oh my god.
But a character like him, like you said, like he's exactly who you think that Courtney would be. But a character type like that does not work well against the character like Ginger, but it works perfectly under the attitude
against Carl
has. It's great.
Like they be real beefing. Like they the thing is though, they like make peace a lot, but Carl's like, I do kind of hate him. I do hate Gripply a lot. Like, I hate that motherfucker, and it's really funny whenever it comes down to it. Just like, they be tormenting him. It's so fucking good. Also, there's like 1,000 screen caps of Blake checking his nails, pretending not to care about what's happening, even though he cares so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, like, do you want to finish what you're saying?
Oh, I was gonna say we should talk about a specific character that me and White are gonna be normal about.
Is it the mom?
We have not talked about Lois. We have not talked about.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Can Dr. Dave fight?
Yeah.
He don't look like it. He don't look.
Yeah, I don't think he can. I don't think he. I do not think he has hands. He don't even know what to do with all that. He has no clue what to do with all that.
Yeah, there's no way.
What a good mom with the best accent in the world. Fantastic character design. She's so like supportive and good, and like to both her kids, Carl and Ginger. She's also so fine.
Yeah.
And she a nurse.
Klasky Csupo, they really, like, it's not as common in cartoons now, but they always got to put Jewish people in every one of their shows, and I appreciate that, because that's just who they are and what they grew up with. Like, Arlene Klasky, I believe, is Russian Jewish, just like my family. So, like, and that's why I won't get into this, but first of all, fuck the ADL. Second of all, fuck them for the, like, bitching about Rugrats and Boris, the grandpa character, because it's like, oh, this looks too much like a caricature, when it's just, dude, that's just what their actual father,
this is made by Jewish people.
Father, that's just, people just look like, I'm sorry that's the whatever. Like, I have no shame saying fuck the ADL at this point, just because they're all, not to get too political here, but they're
Nazi
that's like apologia that they've been doing the past year.
That's like an issue with like a lot of like stuff sometimes. Like, I think it's very easy for someone to get, like, I think it's good, like, not in that case, but like there is this good nature of like going, oh, this character is like a stereotype. Like, there's some people go like this, oh, this character is like a black stereotype, and I'm like, well, hold on, let's think, because guys, I don't know, like, I know people like this. It's about like the context, who's creating it and who's going on,
Right.
Like, we talk about Boondocks. Like, Riley is not a stereotype of black people. He's just like a nigga I know. Like, that's the thing. Like, there's like a lot of thought that goes into that, and like people don't really think about it. Like, is it someone outside the culture doing this to be offensive, or is it someone within the culture talking about what they know and see?
Yeah,
and that's
also,
like what people
it
miss.
Helps if the fucking show, like, Boondocks has a cast of many black people, so it's like,
it's not like
different
this
types of people are represented. Same thing with like this, where it's like, oh, it's not just one version of this character that's being represented. Like, to me, like, that's the bigger issue. If you only have one gay character in there, like, flaming homosexual type character, that could be problematic. But like, if you have multiple characters that are like that, and or if you yourself are just whatever,
just
like,
gay,
just like writing your own experience into the show, and you're like that, it's like, great, big thumbs up. So I just appreciate that. And especially, like, going back, because, like, I never really, I don't know, a lot of, like, moms in cartoons that were more of that, like, 50s sort of, like, Leave It to Beaver, like, sitcom mom, never really clicked with me, because they weren't like my mom, They
weren't real.
They didn't sound like her. They didn't, like, joke around like her. I don't know. There's just something about the Jewish moms that have, like, that are a little bit more interesting, I guess, because
they feel
of what
real to
I
you,
grew up with. And it feels like there's more texture there. So, again, everybody, no psychoanalysis on me.
This is not the Freud cat. This is not the Freud buffoons. We'll do that some other time.
The Freud buffoon.
But I guess the last thing I do want to say about Ginger, because this is like one of my favorite shows now, is we haven't talked about the art, and I gotta talk about the art.
Yeah, we should.
This show looks good. Anyone who goes, they should just move the mouse higher. I'll move you lower into a grave. Don't do that. This show looks so good. The art is fantastic. I also like the texture. Sweaters look like they feel like sweaters in this show, and I don't know how else to put it, but whenever I see someone wearing a sweater or something during the summer, I'm like, I can feel that. When I see Ginger wearing like the sweatpants that like cover most of her shoe, I'm like, I've worn those are comfortable. There's like a very comfort to like the entire show and the art, and I think Klasky Csupo has it across the board, but it's different here than it is in like the Wild Thornberries or something, and it works so well. The art design is fantastic.
I think it's my favorite looking, I mean, besides Rugrats looks really good, but like, as far as taking that Klasky Csupo style that we all know and some of us love, this kind of perfects it. And there's some character designs you can complain about or whatever, like Dodie has a weird head shape or something, but like,
I know girls with weird head shapes.
Exactly.
Not everybody shape their child's head when they're growing up. Grow up. Come on. Get it together.
I will say, though, Macy is just like, even within the style, she is like exceptionally cute. So
yeah, she's like just like circles, and it's great. I love Macy so much.
I guess her mouth being so low on her face like really makes sense because she's in such like a hunched posture.
It's true.
Yeah. She has a deviated septum. She has a deviated septum and just Tariq, do you have anything else to say? Anything you wanted to bring up about As Told by Ginger?
Anything else? I think we covered all the bases. Like you said, it is a nice looking cartoon, especially like when you. I think what helps that too is when you actually watch it and you get attached to it. It's I don't want that shit to look like anything else, you know? Like I don't know if I would get attached to the characters the same way if it looked different, and I don't really know how to explain that. But I just think it's like a really cool show that maybe it probably should have gotten more flowers for what it was actively trying to do at that time.
Hard agree, yeah.
If it would have came out today, like people would have been all over that thing. Like they would have. They probably would have crapped on it when the trailer came out like they do everything else, but somebody jump online and post a clip and say, "Oh wait, this thing is actually good." Like if somebody like imagine like a Twitter thread where somebody like throws up like "Hello Stranger," and then everybody's like, "Whoa, I didn't know this cartoon was good." Like, you know what I mean? Like that, I can see that happening today.
7,000
on Twitter.
7,000 retweets by people who will not watch the show.
Will not. Like, we'll see the clip and then bring it up in conversation. Like, yeah, I hear that show's good, and then like never watch it, and then it get canceled after 10 episodes, just like anything else.
Yeah. God, we are in a hellish cycle in cartoons right now. Oh my god. Like the fact that like we've seen this happen a dozen times. What about you, Wyatt? Is there anything else? I have one thing, but I want to hear it.
I'll just say that to go off of everything that we're kind of culminating to is like the level of like craft on display in the show is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's just like so like. It just feels like such a step above pretty much everything that was around the time. Like even very good adult cartoons that I think around the time. Like Mission Hill is one of my favorite fucking shows ever. And I would say As Told by Ginger, just by virtue of being on for longer and getting to develop its world and characters for longer, the fact that you like, I would have loved if we got 3 seasons of Mission Hill and we get to see, you know, the actual arc that they had planned out for it, you know, and like the characters changing and moving positions or whatever. But like As Told by Ginger doing that at a time when like really nobody was expecting cartoons to like tell a story, let alone like slice of life shows like this.
Yeah, that follows you from like your first year of middle school to high school. Crazy.
Yeah,
like,
they grow, man. They age.
Yeah,
it's so
characters
weird.
change. dynamics shift, personalities change. You know, people become friends and then become, you know, distant from each other. Like, one of the last episodes I watched was the one where they graduate, and I was like crying while watching like Ginger's speech and everything, you know, because I was like, God damn, they really have come a long way from where it started. And it just like it's so satisfying. I say, yeah, so that's like my biggest plea to anybody who is interested in the show, is that like if you are interested in like getting to know the characters and like learning about them and getting peeks into their life and like exploring each of them, and the characters are not perfect, you know. The characters will make flaws, and sometimes they won't even like acknowledge or overcome those flaws, like in that episode, you know. It's not a clean 11-minute cartoon that has a moral at the end. Again, no problem with that, and I understand that it's not just like a thing that's in children's cartoons, it's in like all of television. But like it's just like it's nice to get a different structure sometimes. And it just like tackles some really, really awesome stuff. And again, it's a show that like
it's also funny,
primarily focuses on female characters, and yet I feel like has like amazing like universal appeal to everybody.
For sure.
And I feel like, I just love this show. It's absolutely like, if not the best thing that we've talked about so far,
it's up there.
It's up there, top 3 for sure. So big thumbs up.
And I guess like my last important thing to say about the show is that As Told by Ginger is a very important show, not because of like the writing or like the art style or anything like that. It's important because Ginger's teacher, Miss Sorsky, is so fine. I've been meaning to talk about this.
That's what this whole episode has been. The
sexiest black character in the world. She need a stud so bad, guys. She need a stud so bad. Like, you won't believe. I'm gonna meet her at a gay bar. It's going down. She showed up at the graduation, and I'm like, oh, hold on. She got the head wrap. I need her. I was annoying. I'm like, oh yeah. I don't really care about talking about the show no more. I just remembered how bad she is. No, but legit, this is like I'm glad we got to talk about this and do the show. This is a fantastic show. I'm glad this is like one I picked for this month. It was hard. Like, I know I want to talk about All Grown Up because it's a show I like a lot, but I was like, I might as well stay in like the high school melodrama cartoon thing. So I decided to pick this too, and I was like, oh, great pick. I'm very excited.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to go to All Grown Up because...
I'm scared I'm going to like it less than this. I'm so scared.
Well, that's the thing, is that it's like, I don't think there's any fucking chance in hell it's going to be as good as Told by Ginger, but just like comparing and contrasting like how they do things.
Yeah.
And like, because one is a sequel to a legacy show.
Right.
But they also are very different tonally. So it's like, but it is also trying to be kind of like Ginger. So it'll be very interesting to talk about that. I mean, but that's also the fun of the chaos of this month, is that we both just pick whatever cartoons we did. And SpongeBob was kind of the white bread pick. Nick roasted me for that. But fuck you. Because we got him on. So he's the SpongeBob guy. So do the SpongeBob dance, SpongeBob man.
That's right. Nick, get up there, Nick.
We're shooting at his feet like, come on,
get up there, Nick.
Like a cowboy. But and then we did this, which is like another like good pull, and I do think it's gonna be interesting to talk about Rugrats like in reference to this, and also talk about the one we're doing next, which is Harvey Beaks. Which is the one that I like a lot.
Way later Nicktoon that every time I brought it up, people are like, what the fuck is that show? I'm like, oh, it's the second show C.H. Greenblatt made after Chowder but before Jellystone. You know, Jellystone, that show that everybody agreed was really good when it first came out, and then now all of a sudden they're like, this shit was mid because it's over. And
what's up with everybody, man? What's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I say this as a hateful person. Y'all be overblowing it. Y'all be kind of fake about it. You don't really feel it in your heart. You just want to you just want to say something different. But it's funny, right? We have listeners who like aren't as like locked into cartoons as we are. I just like the process. And I talked to some of them and they were like this. I have no idea what Harvey Beaks is. Like, oh, I'm about to put you on then.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm about to put you on the heat. Yeah. Let's get into it. Like,
it's one of those, I was like, yeah, I really want to talk about the show. I've wanted to for a while on the channel. And, well, I haven't made a video in a long time. So I decided this would be my opportunity to do that on the channel. But, Tariq, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me
on.
This was
always
fun.
a pleasure.
Yeah, it was always fun. It was the Mike Lewinog episode was really fun. This one's also really fun just to get your... I feel like you just have a really good reputation of talking about these like B-class shows. Like there's just like underneath the accepted like oh, these are the best of the best.
Right. Like whenever I sell your videos or stuff to someone, I'm like there's no of that like hyperbole you hear on the YouTube channels of like people getting like super angry or super hateful or like this. You give every show like a real chance, and I think that's like what makes it work and why these are like good shows to talk about with you, like As Told by Ginger and Mike Lewinog. I think a lot of people just don't give these shows real chances.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of what that's kind of like when I first started. That was like the main thing I wanted to do was I didn't want to be the guy that like made videos on like courage and shit like that. You know what I mean? Just because I felt like, you know, everybody does that. Nobody's talking about, you know, like stuff like As Told by Ginger, at least not at that time.
Except for Family Guy, that's the one.
Right, yeah, that's the one that I latched on to. But like even like you just brought up like All Grown Up. Like I'm in the middle of watching All Grown Up to do a video on that too. I fucking love All Grown Up.
So I've been like of the take of All Grown Up is one of my favorite Nickelodeon things for like I think you've known forever, right? I've always talked about All Grown Up. So I'm very excited for like other people get on board, guys. It's so different from Rugrats, and it knows what it wants to swing for, and I can't wait to talk about it. But I don't want to get too much into it. I do want to rewatch it and talk about it. But it's a good one. It's really good and it's interesting.
I just think that like with cartoon discussion in general online, there's always like this like weird game of telephone. I feel like somebody was the first voice to get online and say fuck All Grown Up. And then everybody was like, yeah, facts. That was stupid that they did that. And then like
I agree.
Nobody has seen it in 15 years. I never like held that against All Grown Up. I just always would say I don't remember. I remember watching it, but like I don't know how I feel about it like now as an adult. And that's why like when I put it on, I didn't have that like, oh, let's watch this bullshit. Like I didn't have that in my head. I just kind of was like, I don't know. I love Tommy and Chucky and Phil and Lil. Like I'm already attached to these characters. And the thing that's cool about that show is that they get to have actual conversations and like emotions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you get to see. It's like you have like a cousin that had kids, and then you move to a different part of the country, and then you come back 10 years later, and then like all their kids are like older and like people are people. Yeah. You know, it's just cool.
It's also nice to like, and I'm gonna save it, but like they do also have like a relationship with their parents in a way that they never got to have.
That's something I'm most excited about.
That's true.
Yeah. Wait, I guess Tariq, where can we find you on the internet and other places to promote yourself?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Toonrific Tariq, TOONRIFIC TARIQ. I am on YouTube. I have a Twitter account that I don't touch. I have a indie cartoon that I'm in the middle of funding and producing called Hey. You can find that at The Hey Cartoon on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much for having me again. This is great. If y'all ever find something else, well, I mean, I guess at this point, we gotta wait for Nick to say like, oh well, I guess he'll probably want to talk about this.
Well, because last time, I think it was just like I was just on the cartoon Discord and I was like, does literally anybody want to talk about Mike Lewinog? And then either Nick or Wacky Deli were like, oh, Tariq likes that show.
That's true. I think I got like an ad or something.
But yeah, I guess like also Tariq, if there's anything that like in the like the Cartoon Network Studios thing that like strikes you, reach out to us. We always have like a bunch of stuff. Like, listen, we're gonna be doing this show for a while because there's like, there's like every time we get like, oh, we're making a dent, and then like this new show's greenlit, and I'm like, thank God stuff's still getting greenlit, but we'll be doing this forever.
I think like Invincible Fight Girl is like 100 episodes from now, so there's a lot of we got a lot of ground to cover.
And we're at Adventure Time's going to be like 9 episodes. We're gonna fucking
we're gonna do one per season. But I was gonna say regarding your statement about like the cartoon, like people just come in and they say the thing and everybody just accepts it without investigating it at all. Like that's totally how I felt when like talking about Camp Laszlo. Is that like I did a video about it a couple of years back and then returning to it for Cartoon Buffoons is rewatching and I was like, this is a great show. Like this is like. It's very funny. The characters are all good. The Squirrel Scouts are great. You know,
it's a great show. I love Camp Laszlo. It's a good show.
And I was just thinking about that because I saw a drawing that you did of like some Lauren Bouchard characters and then Laszlo.
Yes. That was on in the Laszlo because that was I was doing a draw pile stream and people donate and tell me what to draw. I used the money to fund my cartoon or whatever, and I was just kind of I hadn't gotten a donation in a while, so I was just sketching a bunch of the Great North, Bob's Burgers characters. And somebody asked for a Laszlo, and that Laszlo was the most fun drawing I did that
day. Good. Just great stuff. Again, of course, you're always welcome to come back on.
Hell yeah.
But I wanted to get Nick to come back for Johnny Test, but he was like, no.
Nick, come on, man.
Y'all gonna do oh wait, never mind. I don't think you would do that. Never mind. I was gonna say, y'all gonna do Fanboy and Jump Jump because you could get him for that.
If
you only got a month of Nickelodeon, April, I don't think I would want.
Maybe next April. Well, next April we want to do. Next year we're gonna do instead of April Fool's Nickelodeon, we said Disney. So,
and I think like I'm already like kind of married to at least Kim Possible as one of the shows that we talk about. But
that's like Morgan, the SpongeBob pick, I guess, isn't it?
I guess so. It's like that would be like DuckTales or something, I think. But
But I guess you can find me at Girl Next Floor on Tumblr. I post art and also about tabletop RPGs. You can also find me on Blue Sky at Girl Next Door, where I post art, but mostly shit posts, to be honest. I will be posting more. I'm trying to draw all the like Beast Wars robots, so I'm gonna do that. But get on Blue Sky quickly, because if you don't, apparently there's a little girl with psychic powers who's going to pick up Blue Sky and throw it into the sun. So you gotta get on that really quickly. But yeah, Wyatt, where can we find you?
I was gonna say that I'm not sure if we should do the Proud Family, because I'm sure Morgan would roast me for having a crush on Penny when I was a kid. But
no, listen, we can do the Proud Family, and then I could get get really controversial about the Kwanzaa episode. And talk about like why a lot of the stuff around Kwanzaa is kind of problematic given who created it. Don't worry about it. I don't have to get into all my black radicalism on the podcast. No, thank you. I don't need to get into all that. But where can we find you?
We can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky, WazRanger, WAZP Ranger. Mostly stream of consciousness stuff, but I do post about videos and podcasts like this one. If you're listening to this on YouTube, great, big thumbs up. But you can get the next episode, which is on Harvey Beaks, right now for free, or not for free, for $3 on Patreon. And if you're on the Patreon, thank you so much for donating. If you only have $1 to donate, that's fine. We do another show called Wow Cool Robot. Me and my friend Wayne go through and review every single robot in existence. It's like 5 to 10 minute episodes. It's a good time. Check it out. We just recorded a whole bunch of new episodes. They're going up. And yeah, that will do it for this episode of Cartoon Buffoons. Again, thank you for coming
thank you so much, Tariq.
Tariq. And join us next time as we get a little bit we leave that like comfortable shell of the early 2000s and move on to the time when literally nobody was watching, right before the Loud House in 2015 with Harvey Beaks. See you there.
Later, everybody.
Word.
Okay.